Let's get one thing straight. Procrastination is not about being lazy. Because if you were lazy, it wouldn't bother you so much. You wouldn't be thinking and stressing out and beating yourself up because you're not actually doing the thing. So you're not lazy. What you're really experiencing when you are procrastinating is fear. You scared, girl, you scared. We're all scared. You're afraid that you will fail. You're afraid that you will spend all this time and pour your whole heart and soul into this artwork and that it'll suck. And you might even be afraid that you're just not good enough. So in this video, we are going to confront procrastination head on by facing our fears and talking about what's really going on in here when we're not doing our work. It's gonna be okay. We can do hard things. And then I'm gonna give you a simple but really powerful homework assignment that you can do today so that you can push through gently and get back to doing your best work. By the way, my name is Keisha Bruce. I have been a professional artist for 25 plus years. My work has been in more than 200 international exhibitions, and you may have even seen some of my work in the museums you visited. So I know a lot about having fears about your work. I know a ton about procrastination, and I'm here to tell you everything I know. So I want to start out by pointing out that procrastination and artist block aren't necessarily the same thing, but they absolutely share the same root cause. And that cause is fear. Fear is the cause and procrastination is the symptom. It is the way that your fear manifests. Simple as that. There's this really great book that I read probably a decade ago. It's called Art and Fear. If you've not heard of it, or if you go get it. Trust me, just go get this book. Because one of the most important messages that you'll take away from this book is that fear is a natural part of the creative process. There's nothing wrong with you because you are trying to make something and it feels scary. And personally, my biggest takeaway from reading the book was that there has to be a level of acceptance that fear is just going to be a passenger throughout your art career. Sometimes it's front and center and really prominent and like really in your face and feels really difficult to deal with. And then sometimes it's just going to be like vibing out in the back seat while you do your work. And that's just something you have to make peace with. I mean, there is a certain amount of vulnerability that comes from creating art. It's just inherent in the practice. I mean, basically you're pouring this really private, intimate feeling or idea into this physical object that other people can look at and point at and ridicule. There is that risk. So give yourself a break because that fear is not completely unfounded. And I think it's really important for us, especially us, more experienced artists, to point out that it's just part of the nature of the creative process is that sometimes you're going to feel really confident in your work and like things are going really well. And then sometimes you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And that's true at every point in your career. I don't think that ever goes away. So I think for me personally, it feels really important to talk about it and normalize it because it's not a character flaw to be blocked and feel like you're not going anywhere and like you don't know what move to take next, because it just means you're normal. It just means you're an artist. It just means that you're like a regular ass human being. In her book, The Artist Way, Julia Cameron says, procrastination is not laziness. It's fear. Call it by its right name and forgive yourself. And I love that quote because there's such a kindness there. There's such graciousness and recognition of the fact that as artists, we are almost always our own worst critics. And that we can cultivate a practice of being kind with ourselves. It just takes practice, just like making art. Okay, are you ready for some homework? Trust me, you're gonna hate it. All right, Here we go. It's less scary to make an artwork that you think might be bad if you know that even before you make it, you're gonna throw it away. So that's what we're gonna do. This is what I do when I feel stuck and I feel like frozen, I can't move. I took a small stack of regular 8.5 by 11 paper, cut it in half, and I made, I don't know, 10 pieces of paper with the intention that when they're finished, I'm going to throw them away. So they don't need to be good. In fact, it's fine if they're bad. They're going in the garbage anyway. The intention is to get moving. Keep going until momentum takes over. And in the back of your mind, you know it doesn't have to be good because we're gonna throw them away. All right, so here we are. I made these earlier. Ink, water, a little bit of color. I had some watercolor in there. This is what I came up with. They don't have to be anything. They don't have to be good. That's not the point. The point is to start. Procrastination is normal. There's nothing wrong with you. But the only way out is through. Sell your art, not your soul.